Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is the recap review for Put a Ring on It. So, this episode started exactly where it left off last time, and Black had to answer whether or not he is going on a second date with Kai. As everybody who has eyes imagined and guessed with ease, he said, yeah, he's trying to go on another date with her. Alexia is not pleased with that because she saw the chemistry. She could tell by the way he was talking about this heifer that this finna be an issue. I understand this is a process they got to go through, but he's a little bit too eager for the situation, and he over here having these flashbacks of how Alexia used to be towards him. And so it's somewhat of a new feeling again, or old feeling being awakened inside. And that can be very intimidating, and it is what it is. So anyway, she ain't here for it. And this week, the ladies are going to be the ones going out on dates. And Dr. Nicole asked them, are they ready for it? All the men said, no, they ain't ready to see all that go down. But Black was the only one that was like, yeah, because I want her to have the same experience that I have, that I've been having. And, you know, I want the process to work for her too. So we're going to see how it go. So Jessica is getting ready for her date. Apparently, when she knew Eric was going to be on his date, she went and bought the dress that she was going to wear on whatever her date was going to be. And she got it on right now. She done came downstairs. He over here talking about some, where's the board cutter at? I was like, do you mean cutting board? What is going on? But anyway, I'm like, what is you talking about? She done came down the stairs with this tight dress on, and and he over here trying to figure out, like, okay, you doing too much. Like, why you got all this on? Like, you doing a whole lot for this dude. Oh, okay. And he was like, yeah, I think I'm going to tag along. Are you planning on driving or riding? And she was like, well, I think I'm going to ride. And he was like, no, you're going to be driving. So, old boy pull up. Off rip, I'm like, yep, this finna be some foolishness, because he in his little confessional talking about some, yeah, you know, I don't have a problem with dating somebody who already has a man, because I've always been referred to as Mr. Steel Girl. And I was just like, no. What are we talking about? His name is Randon. Just take the B off of Brandon, and that's his name, Randon. Ain't no Mr. Steel Girl going on right here. I'm just like, what is, it's the delusions of grandeur for me. What is wrong? Where do you be finding these people? But anyway, y'all, I forgot that I had to sit here and pause as I watched this show. So that is as far as I've gotten, because I was like, oh, y'all doing too much. And I'm gonna have to pause as I go, because it be too much going on. And I know I'm gonna miss something, but I'll be back. I just had to remind y'all of me having to remind myself that that's what I have to do when it comes to this show, because the most be popping off, and I'm not doing notes no more for as long as I can try my best to, you know, not have to do them. Child, tell me why Eric in the confessional talking about, oh, you know, we already had, you know, he said earlier in the episode before they got to this part that they have trust issues already. And I'm like, yeah, because you was cheating day in and day out when y'all first got together, because you felt like, oh, I played for the Atlanta Falcons. Let me be out here fighting and bopping. And she sat up there and continued to deal with you. She stuck beside you like somebody else who I do recap reviews on a show that they are in. And she just looked up and a situation popped off for him. And that's why they are, look, I ain't even gonna go there, let me stop. It just is what it is. Some people, hopefully this person has been reformed. So, you know, I'm not trying to speak bad on their relationship. It's just a fact that this person was cheating on her day in and day out. And now they together and they married, but most people would have been done. They was on again, off again. He was cheating on her day in and day out and all of that. This man, Eric, has been doing the same thing to her, cheating on her day in and day out. He is the typical baller, football player, and he feel like, oh, I'm a football player. I could be out here fighting and bopping. I got all this money, and she here for it. And so she gonna stick beside me no matter what. And all the while, sitting up there in her feelings because she know you out there cheating day in and day out. I can't. I cannot. But anyway, that's literally what they do. And then, like, she's gotten to the point where, as we saw in the first episode, she sits up there and creates scenarios that have not even happened, because she's following a pattern that she's seen this man create. So it's like, girl, you should have ran years ago. But you decided to stick beside him because he had football money. But okay, whatever. That's my opinion of what's going on here. Because I'm just like, I don't understand what you're sticking beside him for anyway. But okay. Like, I'm just saying that people like her end up staying in a broken state and staying hurt because they never get a chance to heal because they stay in the brokenness. It's like, why? How do you expect to get what you want out of a situation if you don't let the trash situations go? Y'all let all the toxic situations stay. You just let it stay latched onto you forever. And then you continue to become more and more broken until it becomes almost impossible for people to put the pieces back together. But anyway, y'all, I digress. So anyway, he got the audacity to talk about, well, my deal breaker is cheating. But you cheated all throughout y'all's relationship. We don't even know if you ever stopped. But okay then, go off though. Y'all, I was like, y'all, I had to pause it on that. I don't even know what they did at the restaurant. But anyway, her and old boy went to a restaurant and he ordered some drink for her. That's all I know so far. Because I had to stop it and be like, you had the audacity to say that when you've been cheating on her day in and day out? Oh, okay. So they on the date and he ordered her a margarita. And she was like, oh my gosh, how did you know that was my favorite drink? And it's like, girl, he didn't know. He just ordered a drink and just hoped that it would be something that you would like. It just is what it is. So anyway, they start talking and he finds out that, they're not on the same page as far as her and her man are concerned. And that there are trust issues. And she literally will sit up there and tell people, oh, I 100% trust him when she doesn't. And she's always thinking in the back of her mind, oh, I wonder what he's doing. You should not feel like that. You should not sit around and with your free time, sit up there and be like, oh my gosh, I wonder if he's cheating on me. I wonder what he's doing right now because he has a history of cheating on me. Like, you don't trust him. You don't trust him. What is the point? Like I said, I don't be understanding why these people set it off like that. But to make a long story short, everything that she said, he had an answer for Randon because he trying to get in them draws. I said what I said. It is what it is. He think he Mr. Steal Your Girl. He said that he's never had a girlfriend before. He in his early 30s and his player days are over and he want his own queen. And I'm just like, he's telling you everything that you want to hear. Because you just set him up by telling him everything he need to know so that he can play on your emotions. But who am I? Okay, y'all. So as usual, I did what I've done in the past that I have a problem. I don't know why I do this. Just like with Ready to Love, I kept saying Ashley instead of Amber. This whole episode, I have said Black instead of Smoke. Y'all, oh my gosh. I'm just like, what is wrong with me? Smoke. Smoke. Oh my gosh. So they showing Smoke and Alexia. And she gonna go out on her date. And oh boy, his name is Chris, who's gonna come and pick her up for her date. He is like a personal trainer or something like that. And he says that, his reputation speaks for itself because he's not known for the typical thing. A lot of dudes, they are self-proclaimed fitness gurus and all of that nowadays, not even having anything, a degree or anything in that, a certificate, nothing. But they'll say that they are all these things just so they can get in somebody's draws. He says that his reputation precedes him and he's known for the opposite because he don't do all of that. So I was like, oh, okay. But anyway, you could tell he tall. He a little bit taller than the Smoke. And, you could tell he do work out or whatever. And, she asked him, do you know him? And he was like, no, I never seen him a day in my life. She was worried about whether or not if the person who came to the house would know him because she don't want to be on her date and they talking about him the whole time and want an autograph. So Smoke was like, he comes to the house, I give him an autograph. I'm going to charge him. I was like, Smoke, come on now. So anyway, he said what he said in the confessional. Talking about, of course, I don't want nothing to pop off. I'm not there with my lady. Anything can happen, but it is what it is. So they about to go out on their date. So the camera people and production, they are doing things out of order again. And like the next scene is not Alexia going out on her date. It is Dr. Nicole visiting LaRonda and Jay's home. And she's having a moment and she's talking with them because, of course, if you want to be married and be in a successful relationship, one of the main things that people fight about and they end up getting divorced over is finances. They have conversations about their finances all the time, and she talks about, the bills from month to month and budgets things out. But he can't do that in the way that he feels like he should be able to because he's an entertainer and his money is not steady. And the place that he's in now, it's just so unsteady to the point of where he feels like he's a bum if he does not work, especially the way that he wants to be able to provide. And so he is reminded of his childhood where his father was not in his life, but his daddy would go out, work, bring the money, put the money on the table, and go right back out and do whatever he was going to do. And that is a trauma. That is a personal trauma that is affecting his ability to be able to say, you know what, I am not my daddy. I can be an amazing husband to somebody, and I can be an amazing father to somebody and stay in their lives versus just handing over a check and not being present. So he's going to have to heal from that hurt. Instead of saying, let me get over it, he's going to have to actually go through it. And Dr. Nicole told him that he's actually very close to getting through it, but he just has to hang in there just a little bit longer. It was a very emotional moment, and I'm glad they did talk about that because a lot of people do not discuss finances and then they end up looking crazy when they're in the thick of it. I'm just saying. So anyway, the date finally comes between Alexia and Chris. They went to the batting cages, and that kind of made me reminisce on the times when we were able to play baseball at school. Y'all might not believe it, but I used to be very, very active. Loved playing basketball, loved playing flag football or regular football. It was just so fun. Soccer, oh my gosh, that is amazing for the heart. But when I learned how to play baseball for fun, I was told that, I had a great swing, but I needed to keep my eye on the ball, and I never understood that. And then my coach that I had at the time coached me through it. And so I actually finally learned what people mean when they say keeping your eye on the ball in whatever sport that you're playing. And then I was able to actually hit it. So yeah, y'all, when I saw them, I was like, okay then. And y'all know she's athletic and all that. Old boy said he wants a woman who's athletic and funny and all that stuff too. And, is up for a challenge. And she said that she just wanted to be able to get out of the house and have fun. She wasn't necessarily trying to get out there and date so that she could, act the way that Smoke is acting. So she glad that old boy is fine to her and, he's easy to talk to and all of that. So after they were done playing their game of baseball in the batting cages, they sat down and they were talking. And he was like, well, can you tell me a little bit about you? Because, I don't know anything at all about you. He hadn't been briefed on her. So she was like, well, I'm in my 30s. I think she said she's 34 years old. She met Smoke when she was 19 years old. She used to play overseas basketball for like 6 years, and they've been on and off again for 14 years and all this other stuff. So eventually he asked her, okay, so, what do you like to do? And so she was like, oh, I like to go out. It might not really seem like it like that, but I really like to go out. So then it's like he asked her again. And so he was like, I'm asking you for a reason because some people, they'll say one thing, but it's really something that they do because that's what their partner like to do. And she was like, oh, no, I'm an alpha female and he's an alpha male. And I said exactly what I meant the first time when I said I like to go out. And I'm telling you my true answer. I'm not just saying what I'm answering you with just to say it because it's something that Smoke want to do. It's something I want to do. So that I'm pretty sure that that's why we get along and we bump heads. It's because we both are alphas in our relationship. So he was like, okay, that's cool, whatever. So their date went well. It is what it is. So now we are about to see how the date is going to go between LaRonda and whoever she ends up going on a date with. Jay is not ready for the date, but we going to see. She getting ready. So again, we gonna see how that's gonna pan out, because she's like typically really, really friendly, and he's like, well, I don't know how it's gonna be when she's not in front of me. It could be completely different, but it is what it is. Y'all, so LaRonda's date came, and as soon as he came in, he said, peace and blessings. And so she was like, oh, peace and blessings. Okay then. And so they both looking like, what's going on here? And I was just like, Lord, don't do it. Don't do this. Okay, we have to definitely speak on the fact that Jay straight up was just like, look, I'm a very emotional guy. Either I'm smiling a lot or I'm crying. One of the two. It just is what it is. I'm very emotional, and that's one of the two things I'm going to be doing. And so he basically said, I'm going to be faking the funk in front of her while she getting ready to go out on her date, because I ain't here for it. And he did say that, you know, they did promise one another to let them know if you're not having fun anymore, because if you're not having fun anymore in your relationship, then a lot of stuff does tend to go downhill. You're going to start getting interest from other places, and that's not good. So yeah. Tell me why their date is at the the Cynthia Bailey's wine cellar. I think she calls it the Bailey cellar. What, y'all, I can't remember what it's called, but it's Cynthia Bailey's wine cellar. And I'm like, okay, y'all really letting us know that y'all really are in Atlanta right now. So they about to have their date up in there. Okay, y'all, so the date continues, and they're talking, and he asks her what is it that she's looking for, like where does she see herself in 5 years, and she said definitely married with kids. And he was basically like, yeah, I see myself, you know, in the same predicament in a family environment. You know, he really, you know, wants to drive that home, and she is here for his responses. And she was just like, you know, I'm just glad that he's, you know, participating, because he's been very fun with her. They're at the wine cellar, and they are like trying to throw grapes into each other's mouths. So they're making it into a fun situation, and she likes that. And she likes his responses so far, and you know, it's a nice little vibe. Well, Jay is at the house. Now, I know y'all probably looking at me like, the TV say Sean, why are you saying Jay? On the website it says Jay. I really think his name is Jay Sean or something like that, or something is his middle name or his nickname to everybody else, or his, I don't know, something's going on. But on the website it says Jay, and he goes by Sean on the screen, and it just is what it is, y'all. But yeah, he ends up FaceTiming one of the people, one of his friends. Now I mean, at first, before they got up on his arms, I was like, is he a Q or no? And then I saw, you know, the brandishings or whatever you call them, where they, forgot what they call it. But anyway, you know, what they do to cattle, do that to you. And he has that on both of his biceps. So I was like, oh, you done went off. Like, you live for that. I ain't even gonna go into that. I have gone into that at one point in time because I wanted to be a part of a sorority. We ain't even finna get into that. That's a whole nother thing. And some stuff that I found out over the years too. It's just a lot. So anyway, when she left the house, he immediately started doing push-ups. And then when they finally showed him at the house again before she even got back from the date, which we never even see her come home from the date. So I don't know how long she was out. They showed him still exercising at this time. He ain't even doing the push-ups no more. He is up on the like little pull-up bar that's on the door. Then he ends up FaceTiming one of his friends. I don't know if he's just a regular friend or if he's one of his bros or what. So he's talking to him, and he was just like, well, you know, she's the best thing that's ever happened to me. Like, it kills me how people know that they have an amazing thing and they don't want to lose it, but then they don't want to just seal the deal with paperwork. I don't be understanding. Oh, it's so amazing. They really be making it seem like everything is so amazing over here. I can't imagine living my life without this person. They just everything. But then they don't want to pull the trigger on the paperwork though. Oh, okay. But anyway, y'all, he gets emotional and started crying. Then he done went into the bathroom and like started boo-hoo crying, y'all. And then it got to the point where they done cut that off, and now we back at the house. So we gonna see what gets discussed at the house, because like I told y'all last time, there were some things that got cut out that we didn't see, And like, we didn't see the end of LaRonda's date, and we didn't see, well, to me, we didn't see them like go home like we saw a lot of the dudes go home and start discussing stuff last time. So we go see what happened at the house. So like I said, they are now back at the house, and they are going to be discussing how the dates went and, you know, see if anybody learned anything. Well, Smoke learns about how into Alexia, how into her date that Alexia was. And she made a point to say he was fine and all this other stuff. Y'all, I was like, ma'am, because when she was talking about old boy earlier, she was like, he's fit or something like that, which is the complete opposite of Smoke. I was like, ma'am, you ain't had to do it like that, did you? Dang. But anyway, she basically was like, I had a really good time. And then apparently they had their own little like moment. They said like one day they stayed up from 12 a.m. to 7 a.m. just talking and actually hearing one another out, because normally she doesn't get a chance to speak and be heard and be able to understand where he's coming from. And that's something that she desperately wants from him. And she liked the fact that she was able to get that from her date, Chris. So it seems like they've been, you know, using what they've learned in these dates, at least from her date, because I already told y'all, Smoke's date started off all the way wrong before they even left out the house. I was just like, nope. Helfer, you came in the door lying. So I said, oh no, all he did was say hello, and that's it. Girl, it was just lies for me. But anyway, so who else? I'm trying not to go where I want to eventually go. Who's next? So then Jessica and Eric. So y'all know Jessica went out on her date, and she, you know, made it seem like she had a lot of fun, and he was like, oh no, I cut all that off at the door. I let him know what was up as soon as he came to the door. And y'all know this dude thought he was Mr. Steal Your Girl. I just can't. She was here for everything he was talking about. And then it's crazy to me that she let everybody know that she don't trust them. They basically let everybody know that they don't trust one another. So Dr. Nicole was like, okay, so you know that y'all can't build nothing off of that, right? And so she was like, well, we can try. Like, she really said it confidently. I was like, girl, are you serious? Like, she was dead serious, talking about really trying to build something of substance off the fact that y'all don't even trust each other. Girl, bye. Like, is it even worth working for? Like, I can't. And I mean, she really was like, oh, well, we could try. Girl, bye. I don't even understand. I don't know. I don't get it. They don't trust each other. I don't understand what they're still together for. Then last but not least, we saw LaRonda and Sean, aka Jay, which is what they have on the website, like I already told y'all. And they discussed how his situation went. And I say his situation, and I really mean his situation, y'all. When she left the house, he literally got sick. So he was crying and throwing up and some more. Like, he really got sick just at the thought of knowing that he could lose her. And, you know, he lives for her. And it's like, everybody was touched, you know, and before they really got touched, you know what I'm saying? Well, when they really got touched was when he expressed to them that, you know, he does not want to be like his daddy. And I'm just like, bingo, you finally got your breakthrough. Because she was trying to tell him that you almost through it. Like, you talking about, oh, I want to get over it. I want to get over this stuff. And she was like, no, you got to go through it. And you are closer you're closer to the end than you think. And as soon as he said, I just don't want to end up like my daddy. I don't want to be nothing like my daddy. And so she had to ask him straight up, like, do you treat her the way your daddy treated your mom? He was like, oh, no, I don't treat her like that. I treat her, that's my queen. And so she was like, you are already doing exactly what you're supposed to do as it is. Like, he basically overthinks things, and he processes things in a way where it makes it seem as though it's worse than what it is. And he already says that it's his way of basically foreshadowing what he thinks something is going to be. So he basically is preparing for the worst. And it's like, See things as it's happening. See things as for what it actually is, instead of just thinking that, oh, the worst is happening. And, you know, yeah, she had a great time with old boy, but she loves you. Like, she is sticking beside you despite your financial situations, because that's something that can be changed. It's not like you out here trying to be a bum. It's not like you out here trying to live off of her. That's a difference. So anyway, now they're at the part where they're going to see whether or not the ladies are going to go on a second date with these people, or if they're going to decide to eventually go out on a date with someone else. Okay, so everybody said no to a second date, but LaRonda only said no to a second date because she's concerned about how Sean/Jay is going to feel. And Dr. Nicole had to be like, so you're declining a date from this awesome dude. You just said he was everything and then some. Checks all the boxes, but you talking about you decline a date because of how he might feel, the emotions that might be involved, how he might actually take how the date happens and what happens within the date. Like, girl, bye. So anyway, it is what it is. Next week, everybody is going to be going on dates, and it's going to be at the same location, and they are going to have to focus on trusting their partner and all that good stuff, and self-assuredness, or whatever she said it was. But anyway, y'all, that was the recap review for Put a Ring on It. It is a mess. Smoke, I don't know if they're gonna make it, because he gonna be out here with the same heifer that was out here lying from the jump, and he gonna have to try to lie and make it seem. I mean, this is my thing, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna say it next week. The situation that they gave us a preview of shows Kai and Smoke leaving the restaurant. And Alexia apparently gonna set it off a little bit or say something about it. And so when they get back into the house, he was like, I was doing this the whole time, saying, look, this is it. She got my hand, I don't have her hand. If the cameras wasn't there, well, not even if the cameras wasn't there, if Alexia wasn't there, he would gladly still be holding her hand. He wouldn't be like, oh no, she got my hand. No, you can tell somebody. You grown. Both of y'all are fully grown. Don't try to sit up here and act like you don't understand. Hey, I don't want you to touch my hand like that. I don't want you to be holding my hand. Why are you acting like you ain't grown, Smoke? I don't know if this is gonna work out, because ever since the first episode, he been getting his entire life from this random heifer. So I don't know. And even if he decides that he wants to put a ring on it, she might not even be here for it at the end of the day, seeing the way that he reacted off rip to this heifer. But anyway, y'all, I'll be back next week for the foolishness. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the recap review of this show. It is interesting. It has actually been more interesting than Ready to Love this season. All right, y'all be safe. Stay cool. Be safe. I'll talk to y'all and see y'all later. Bye.